amazing. You should all stand up here once. We should have like a rotation. You come through and you can see how beautiful you guys are standing here right now. Well, what I have here is a little piece of fiction, and people ask all the time, because that's what I write now, ever since I wrote By America and all this nonfiction. People want to read my fiction. Nah, no, they don't. But I write it, and so I have mass quantities, steaming quantities of fiction. And people ask all the time, it's like, well, is it true? And it's like, absolutely, it's 100% true. I mean, the situation's made up, the people in it are made up, but you will find that it's true. So I worked in an HIV clinic for a long time, so I was on the other end of that desk. And it was a very, and those people that I saw were much like the people here, and the people I worked with were very much like the people here. So, with enough said about that. Hot, safe, fun. We shook. I like to shake hands. Builds trust, especially with middle-aged men. I took my seat behind the desk. He looked around my small office, examining one poster at a time with a wide-eyed reverence of a child's first visit to an amusement park. He stopped at one poster for an extended visit. It featured two shirtless young men standing close together. One guy looking at his friend's chest, the other holding out a small red condom package and looking at the camera. The caption said, "Hot, safe, fun." I opened his chart. "You're here for an HIV test?" I wondered if he would answer, his attention so focused on the poster. Yes. I sorted out my stuff, a foil package, stand, lancet, alcohol wipes, gauze, Band-Aid. I arranged it so that just the right things were at my fingertips when I needed it. Hundreds, thousands of tests over the years made the task rote. "My name is TJ. We'll get this test started." I glanced at the name on the chart. "Bob. I'll do some paperwork, and after 20 minutes, you'll have a result. Sound good?" He nodded. I opened the package, took out the plastic vial of the developer, and placed it in the stand. "We just need a little drop of blood. Won't hurt a bit. I'll put on rubber gloves." "Are you right-handed or left-handed?" "Why?" "So when I prick your finger and you get gangrene, you won't have your more useful hand amputated." He smiled just a little, enough to assure me that he understood that it was a joke. He held his right hand out, and I turned it palm up. I wiped the tip of his ring finger with an alcohol swab. "Won't hurt a bit." At the last word left my mouth, I realized I'd repeated myself. I took a lancet and with one swift motion poked his finger. I squeezed, a drop of blood appearing. I took a tiny sample with a collection loop and placed it in the vial. I stood up and tucked his chart under my arm. "I'll be right back." I carefully carried the stand with the vial down the hall of shiny linoleum and smelly antiseptic, past the door to the packed, noisy waiting room, past a clinician wearing goggles entering an exam room. She nodded at me. Nurses used exam rooms, and prevention workers like me had offices. Nurses gave HIV and STD tests, pelvic exams, and more. HIV prevention workers did HIV tests. Clinicians wore white lab coats. I wore Doc Martens, a flowered shirt, and tribal tats. Clinicians went home at 4:30. Many nights, I and others like me would float between gay bars into the morning, handing out condoms, talking to potential clients, seeking out the scared and uninformed, navigating around the drunk and the defiant. In the lab, I set the stand in the appropriate spot next to 4 other tests. They looked like home pregnancy tests, and all 4 had one red bar, negative. These tests were state-of-the-art. Used to be a blood draw would be sent to the lab and we'd get results in a week, but in 2008 we could get results in minutes. I put the tester in the vial. I logged the test, time, code. "Busy today," said the white-haired nurse looking over my shoulder. Yep. He went to answer the phone. He worked only in the lab. He used to get a test, but his bedside manner had become short, abrupt, some even say judgmental. He worked at the clinic for 20 years, probably a hell of a case of PTSD. He'd seen the worst days of HIV in the mid-80s, 4 or 5 positive tests a day, at times when positives came with a frustration that there was nothing to do. Not anymore. Now they're amazing, if at times brutal treatments. Few died, many struggled, but still HIV and the specter of AIDS. Back down the long hall, file folder in hand, I grabbed the doorknob of my office but realized I had forgotten the guy's name again. I looked at the chart. Bob. As I entered, he was reading a pamphlet on pelvic exams. He put it back in a pile of materials next to him. How long did he say? I sat down behind the desk. 20 minutes. I looked at him, perhaps for the first time. A bit thick around the middle, he wore a baseball cap and a sweatshirt from the Academy of Holy Angels. No one would notice him walking down the street. I knew I would never recognize him again. One more of a small army of men parading through my little office. He bounced his knee, arms crossed. He focused on another poster, one of two young men and a young woman in their arms around each other. The girl had a tattoo. The caption said, "Know your status." That was my shout-out to fellow bi-folk. I leaned back, opened a folder, and picked up a pen. Okay, Bob, let's see. I'm guessing male, white. I was trained not to assume, but that went out the window a long time ago in the interest of expediency. I filled in the bubbles. How old are you? Why? So I thought, it's going to be like that. Sometimes when people are freaked out, they become oppositional. No matter. After 8 years, there's nothing I hadn't seen him dealt with, including guys like that. Well, largely because it's on the form, so give me a ballpark. He said 45, and I blacked in the bubble for 40 to 49. If you like that question, you're going to love the next one. Who do you have sex with? Anger flashed across his brow. I'm not going to give you their names. I laughed. My bad, I said it wrong. I don't want names. What gender are your partners? What do you mean gender? You mean sex? Yes. Political correctness didn't have a prayer with this guy. Women. He didn't look at me. He looked at his finger with a Band-Aid. I decided to let the lie go for the time being. How many people have you had sex with in the last 6 months? 1. I let that go as well, even though you just used plural not seconds before. Your wife? Are you married? I asked. He shook his head no. I was surprised. He seemed like a married guy to me. Prostitute? I regretted it the second I said it. Do I look like someone who can't get sex without hiring a hooker? Yep. Actually, yes. Sorry. Did you use condoms? He shook his head no. When was the last time you had a test? 5 months ago. I filled in the bubble and closed the file. That's it? He said. For the form, sure. You have, I looked at my watch, 16 minutes left. His leg resumed bouncing. What brings you in for a test today? What? I sensed now there was less oppositional and more that he wasn't listening, so I stated it again. You should know your status, right? For a moment I was impressed, but then I remembered he had just looked at the poster. I repressed a smile. Do you have a reason to believe your status has changed since the last 6 months? He shook his head no with a bit of a shrug, making his answer less conclusive than he may have intended. Believe me, there's nothing you can say that would be shocking or new to me. If there's something on your mind, that would be a really great time to talk about it. There's nothing to say. I just thought I'd get a test, that's all. In my job, we wanted men to talk about what's on their mind. And I was well trained in making that happen. Too many guys carry too many secrets, the burden too great, cost high. But I felt tired, maybe too tired to get a closet case to open up, to see how much risk he was taking, to maybe see a better way. Do you have any questions for me? Yeah, how long? Who's longer? I looked at my watch. About 12. Any questions about how HIV works? He shook his head no. Yes, I do. What happens if it's positive? I told him about the confirmatory test and the need for an appointment to get set up with services. Plus, there's more forms. That's it. For now, for us here. He looked at his hands. His fear filled the room. But I gotta tell you, one woman partner in the last 6 months and a test only 5 months ago, your risk is pretty low. Very, very low, I would say. 10 years of working in HIV prevention, there are few surprises left. I might have been shocked that a client was negative, but I was never surprised by a positive. Never. I considered that maybe this guy was what he said he was, that he's worried well. And there were lots of worried well. Guys who get tested as often as they can, even though they had little or no reason. OCD guys, certain that they have AIDS, even though they've been with the same partner or no partner forever. But not this guy. He liked these posters. Do you ever have sex with men? What? He flinched. Men! Makes you think I have sex with men? Well, you're in an STD clinic getting an HIV test. I'd say there's a pretty good chance that you have sex with men. He looked at the poster of two big guys in hard hats. The poster said, it only takes once. Condoms. Look, I said, hoping to calm him, you're not alone. You're talking to a bi guy. I enjoy sex with men and women, and it's cool. He was having none of that. How long till it's done?
Yeah.
I told him 8 minutes. And I sat there saying nothing. Sometimes you have to let the silence do its magic. You're bisexual? Yep. Say I did. Say I had sex with a guy once. What are my chances? One guy? Once? Oral sex? Pretty much 0. Anal? A good bit better than 0, but you'd have to be pretty unlucky to have sex once with a guy and get HIV, although I've seen it. Not what I was trained to say, to be sure, but it was what I believed to be true. When you've been in the pits as long as I have, you cut through the bullshit. I thought it only takes once. That's not how I needed to take that poster down. United States guys, it only takes once, didn't work. Because they may have had 100 onces in the last 6 months, and they were still negative. Sure, but it's like the lottery. You can hit on your first ticket, or most people buy a lot of lottery tickets and increase their odds. Most days I tested some guys who would have dozens, even hundreds of partners in the past 6 months. It can give you a warped view if you're not careful. I saw it in my colleagues. I saw it in the white-haired RN. Pretty soon you assume everyone is hanging around the basement bars at 1 a.m. or in the park in the afternoon, and you forget that on any given night, the vast majority of your fellow MSM, men who have sex with men, are home watching TV, playing with their dogs, and loving their partners. He was a ball of nervous tics, hands ringing, knees vibrating. Sometimes, he said nothing. Tired or not, I found a crack. I was not going to let that door close again. Where do you meet guys? Time to ignore the bullshit at once. On the internet? I travel a lot. I nodded, leaning forward, elbows on the desk, my best concerned, active, listening pose. In Washington, there's this place. There's a lot of places in Washington. And I've been to all of them. Bathhouse is an island, way back. It's fine, you know, you're an adult. Everybody there is an adult. The question is, did you play safe? He was rubbing his hands together as if he were at a sink. Look, it's good, yes? Play safe, use condoms for anal sex, give yourself a limit to how many people you'll blow, stick to it, get tested regularly. I said, practically carpet bombing messages. I don't do oral sex. Now we're getting someplace.
Yeah.
Are you a bottom? I've never talked about it. Being a bottom? I've never told anyone that I like men. Sad, but I understood. Cruising bathhouses, as fun as it can be on a Saturday night, usually doesn't lend itself to conversation, to shared feelings, intimacy, or simply talking. It doesn't have to be that way. But there it is. Guys are often there to get off and not have a rap group. He asked how much longer. I looked at my watch and lied. A couple more minutes. The guy was not playing safe. I felt sure. There was no hot, safe fun for him. Just a shame-driven self-medication with sex bringing on more shame. I knew that trap well, professionally and personally. Are you seeing a counselor? What am I supposed to do? Tell me what I'm supposed to do, he said, talking to the floor. Is it that you're afraid you infected your wife? What? Your wife, are you afraid? I'm not married, I told you, I'm not married. Listen, I care, I do. You look like... His eyes shot to mine. You care? Is that all you got? You're not alone, trust me. You already said you're not alone. Are you following some sort of goddamn script?
Aww.
I tried to move toward soothing. I hear your pain.
Yeah.
What's my name?
Yeah.
What's my fucking name? I tried to peek at the chart on the top. I the hand out of his name and I jumped. Tell me what my name is. I looked in his eyes, which were now red and wide. Sorry, you've got to understand. He shot out of the chair, hands on his head, eyes closed. It's been more than 20 minutes, I know it has. I looked at my watch, even though I knew he was right. I'll be right back, okay? I'll be right back. You're going to be okay? You tell me. Carefully moving around and out the door, in the hall, I stopped and looked at his chart. Bob. Fuck me, his name was Bob. I really did give a shit. He had no idea. I'd been in that same room. I was Bob 12 years before, a product of a homophobic world telling me in endless ways that I was sick and twisted, unable to, unworthy for, incapable of love, love of another, love of myself. You don't have to be a damaged soul to get HIV, but you just have to be unlucky. But still, there were a lot of people like Bob and me visiting my little office. Yes, I did care. But did it matter? Maybe that's what haunts me. I was trained. I believed that by holding a mirror up to people so they can see the risk, that they were being helped. But is that true? Was my probing into Bob's business doing any good for Bob? I was no longer so sure. I walked. I dreaded the walk. 7, 8, 9 more times a day. The guy who gave me a positive took that walk. He was a bear. Handsome, blue eyes, one earring, I forget his name. I wish I remembered his name. What if I had me to do my HIV tests those many long years ago? When did I become so casual? That day 12 years ago when that bear guy gave me a positive, I cried. He hugged me, he wrapped me in his big arms, and I felt a little less like I was dead. I tell a couple, 3 guys a week that they're positive, and have never hugged one of them. I never let them in me like that. It would be too much to give a piece of me to all those guys, a piece of myself sexually, under different circumstances, sure, but never a piece of me. I decided I would try to give Bob a hug if the tests were positive. That's what I would do, just like the bear. I pushed the lab door open with my fist. It hurt. It felt good. The white-haired nurse turned to me and looked. Thank you.
Awesome.